She's a four-time Olympian, four-time medalist, the most decorated female equestrian in Olympic history. Beezie Madden, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. How are you? How has 2020 been?
I'm doing great. 2020 has been a little bit not quite as active as normal, but we've had some quality time at home here in Casanova, New York on our farm. And it's been in some ways a nice year, and we're ready and excited to get going for next year.
And I imagine from everything I've read and I see, a typical year for you is really flying around the world and competing, right?
Yeah, and I think I've only been on an airplane once this year so far.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been strange.
And how many shows, how many trips and countries is a typical year for you?
Oh, I'd say we probably show at least 40 weeks out of the year, and we might span the globe from we go Wellington, and generally wherever the World Cup final is, which is generally in Europe or Las Vegas, and then off to maybe a couple shows in Europe, and then back across to Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and then back to Europe, and then usually back to the United States for a while. So a lot of traveling.
A lot of traveling. And in your world, that is very typical day. But in, let's say, the rodeo world, it's oftentimes a truck and trailer. So give us a bit of behind the scenes of what it's like to fly with your horses on planes and what that looks like logistics wise.
Well, the horses go to the airport just like the Western horses go in a trailer, and then they are generally held in some holding stalls, they call them, and then they get loaded onto pallets, which are, I don't know if you've ever seen a cargo pallet, but it's similar to a two-horse trailer in size, and it's just on top of wheels. And then that pallet gets wheeled wherever it needs to go, and generally they have a big, I call it a forklift, but it's like an elevator. The forklift puts it on an elevator. The elevator goes up to the cargo level of actually it's really the passenger level of the planes. They don't go in the cargo, they go up on the upper level, and it slides in, and then it's on wheels, and it has a system where they just slide it into place, and it locks into place, and they just stay in their little container like a two-horse trailer.
Wow. Now, who travels with them typically?
Generally a groom that knows the horses, and works for us. So yeah, so someone they know.
Do the horses get frequent flyer miles? Because I feel like they should.
That would be a good deal. We should work on that, because
Right?
they don't. No deals.
I imagine the price to fly a horse is quite a bit more than the price for us to fly.
Yeah, probably similar to a business class or first class ticket, but yeah.
Right. Now, when you are flying and traveling, oftentimes it's with your husband, who also
Mhm.
happens to be your trainer, and John. So what is that partnership like?
Oh, it's great, because really, if he wasn't doing the same thing I did, we would hardly see each other.
Right.
It worked out well. It kind of started as he was the boss, I was the employee relationship, and it morphed into husband, wife, partners. And so I think we've kind of each way along the way, every step we've kind of found our niche, that he's best at, things that I'm best at, and it's great for me because I can concentrate on the riding and the horses and what I need, and he concentrates on a lot of the business and the managing the help and managing the barn, as well as helping me from the ground and picking horses and a whole bunch of things. But it makes it so that my mind can be pretty clear when I'm competing. It's really nice.
An incredible team, and you found so much success together. And I know there's a lot that you're preparing for in 2021, but your fifth Olympics is one of those, trying to qualify for Tokyo. What does that preparation look like? And has it changed since they had to push it a year?
It has changed a little, but it's still, the selection procedure is similar still. Basically, I have to go, I'm going to be in Wellington this winter, so the most important part is probably going to be Wellington, because we really don't know what our schedule is going to be after that, whether we're going to be able to go to Europe, or if we're still going to have some restrictions for traveling as Americans, or even to Canada. So I think the competition in Wellington from January to March is going to be really important for us as far as making the team.
That's so fun. Wellington to me is a bucket list place to go. And out of all the places you have competed, do you have a favorite place or a favorite event? I'm sure they're all so special in their own way too.
Yeah, Wellington is nice. I think it's a little bit it's our home thing and it's 12 weeks. So for us, it's not quite as big a deal as if you all of a sudden just arrived there and saw what a massive undertaking it is. I would have to say my favorite place is either Aachen or Spruce Meadows, Aachen, Germany, or Spruce Meadows, which is in Calgary, Alberta. And basically the atmosphere is spectacular. They have huge stadiums packed with people, 50, 60,000 people watching. And we don't get that so often. So it's really special.
That is incredible. Now, beyond the Olympics, from what I've read, after that, 2021 and the future could look a little different. Are you transitioning a bit more into training not only horses, but also up and coming horsemen and women?
Yeah, I think basically just shifting our focus on, right now it's been so much on my riding and developing horses that I would take to the Olympic Games and keeping those horses. But now it's going to be dealing with the same quality of horses, hopefully, that I develop, but they will be able to be bought by other people. So I don't know if I'll end up doing another Olympic or World Championships, but it's probably not that likely. I will be competing in Grand Prix and stuff like that because that's part of developing the horses. But yeah, also having a couple more students and really focusing on their career and what they need to do, and hopefully taking some of them to the championship and Olympic level.
Just so neat too, because to see that next generation come up and for years to come and what that looks
Yeah.
like. So I love that. And
Yeah.
talking about the youth, talking about students, what would you say to someone who their dream is to follow in your footsteps and go to the Olympics? If someone comes up to you and says, where do I start or what do I focus on? What do you tell them?
I think you just focus on getting into the industry somehow. If you have really good riding skills, that's great. You have a huge opportunity then to get with some of the best trainers and riders and get out there. But even if you can't do that, the best thing you can do right now is take care of a horse, and or work for somebody and find some job. And then if you're somebody that looks like they're doing a great job and people like you and they get to know you, get contacts, and then you never know where that takes you.
Right.
But getting with the best people in the industry is the most important part.
And you on the back of a horse, you're so poised, you're so calm. And for a younger rider who those nerves are just at them, do you still have those nerves even after so many Olympics and there's so many Grand Prix and so much that you've won? Do you have those and you just don't see them, or has that changed over time?
I've been lucky that I don't have not a problem with that, but for sure, before I get on the horse and you're sitting there watching and you do get some nerves, but I have to say, once I get on the horse and start with the routine of warming up and stuff, they go away for me. So I'm lucky with that.
At the Olympics, when you're on stages like that, especially competing as a team, take us to those moments just for a moment and what that's like, because so few actually experience that. And when I'm here watching on TV, I just have all these different imaginations and ideas of what that must feel like. But what is that like for you?
It's unbelievable feeling, really, especially at Olympic Games where you're there and sometimes our venue is a little bit away from some of the others, but you still really feel like part of Team USA. You have all the clothing, you can do the opening or closing ceremonies if you want, and you see the Olympics on the TV and you see the medal count for the US, and you hope, I hope we can contribute to that medal count. And yeah, there's always, I think even the audience that generally comes to watch equestrian sports, they come out with their American flags and they're all yelling. So it seems much more patriotic at the Olympic Games and being part of the team. And it's fantastic feeling and fantastic atmosphere.
Well, I sure hope you're at Tokyo because I'll be watching and cheering you on and I'll have my flag. So
Thank you.
love that. Well, we'll switch gears just a little bit. And I actually want to talk about your gear. I know you're in Ariat head to toe. Are there a few items for you that are must-haves for when you are competing?
Yeah, I love the Davino boots, which has replaced the Monaco now as the top of the line boot for them. It's super comfortable and fits me beautifully. And I love they have a new Italian line, Speranza, and they have a beautiful riding coat and breeches to go with it. So those are really cool.
I gotta say, I saw those breeches that you're talking about. I just wanted to order them because they looked comfortable. And then I noticed
Comfortable.
it was for competing. Well, Beezie, I so appreciate it. Before I let you go, this might be a bit of a tough question to ask, but you've had such a storied career that is far from being over. When you look back at it, is there a certain moment or maybe a certain win that just to you, or even a certain horse that is that kind of highlight moment of the career?
Well, as far as horse, I'd say one of my best performances was the Normandy World Championships, which I was bronze team and bronze individual, but my horse was the best horse because we switched horses for the final four, and he was the best horse, and that was Cortez C. And he had a unbelievable week. He had an unbelievable lead up to the championships. Everything went smoothly. But I guess for the win, I'd say my first World Cup final win was my first individual title, and that was with Simon, who's a unbelievable horse as well. And I think that was as well his first title, so he really deserved it as well. And that was a really cool win for me.
You mentioned a couple of your horses. I also saw a lot about Authentic and watched him as well. So many beautiful ones. Do you have not only, of course, the ones that you're competing on now, but when they retire, they're right there on your big
Yeah.
farm, right?
Yeah, we have Authentic. This is also the Authentic behind me.
Oh, they look familiar.
Yeah, Authentic and Simon are turned out together. Cortez is in his own place because he likes people better than horses. But yeah, we have so many. We have close to probably between 70 and 80 horses that are living outside, retired, young horses, and also some rehabilitation patients that needed time off in the field. And then we start them back into work and send them back to their owners. So that's kind of fun too, just seeing them be able to heal and develop and come along and show again. Makes us proud.
Makes you proud, of course, keeps you busy, but in
Yes.
the best way. Well, Beezie Madden, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it. Good luck on qualifying for Tokyo, everything to come in 2021. I can't wait to cheer you on. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.